Ladies and gentlemen, when God removes everyone from your life before he moves, it can feel like an isolating and confusing experience. However, this is often a strategic moment where he is teaching you to rely on him fully. In our human nature, we tend to lean on the people around us for support, advice, and comfort. While relationships are essential and often God-given, they can sometimes overshadow our connection with him. By taking certain people out of your life or putting you in a season of solitude, God is redirecting your focus to what matters most, your dependence on him. In moments of isolation, we are forced to look inward and upward. Without the distractions of constant companionship or external validation, we begin to notice the areas of our lives where we have neglected our spiritual connection. It becomes an opportunity to strengthen our relationship with God in ways that might not have been possible before. This process often requires discomfort, as it challenges our usual patterns of seeking reassurance or advice from others rather than turning to God in prayer and meditation. Through this, we learn to trust him in ways that deepen our faith and understanding of his plan. This redirection of reliance is about more than just spiritual growth. It is about learning to hear God's voice clearly. When surrounded by noise, whether from people's opinions, societal pressures, or even well-meaning friends and family, it can be difficult to discern what God is truly saying to you. Isolation creates space for clarity. Without the distractions of others, you begin to recognize the subtle ways God speaks to your heart. You develop an intimacy with him that might have been overshadowed by the constant input from others. This clarity is vital because it equips you to make decisions based on divine guidance rather than human influence. Another significant aspect of this process is the development of resilience. When you no longer have a support system to lean on, you are compelled to find strength within yourself and your relationship with God. This can be an empowering experience as you realize that his grace is sufficient for you. It also teaches you to rely on his timing and wisdom, especially in moments when you feel uncertain or overwhelmed. This resilience becomes a foundation for handling future challenges as you've learned to navigate life's storms by standing firm in your faith rather than depending solely on external support. God's removal of people can also reveal the areas in your life where unhealthy dependencies may have formed. It's easy to become overly reliant on someone for emotional support, advice, or even validation. While these connections can be helpful, they can sometimes take the place of God's role in your life. When he takes those relationships away, it can feel painful, but it is a loving act intended to restore balance. In their absence, you begin to recognize that God is the ultimate source of your peace, guidance, and identity. This realization allows you to reestablish a healthier dynamic in future relationships, one where God remains at the center. Moreover, this season of reliance on God is a time of preparation. When God removes people from your life, it is often because he is about to move in ways that require your full attention and obedience. The removal isn't a punishment, it's a sign that something greater is coming. By focusing solely on God, you become more attuned to his will and better equipped to handle the blessings or challenges he is preparing for you. This preparation often includes lessons in patience, humility, and faith, qualities that are essential for stepping into the next phase of your life with confidence and grace. It's important to remember that this process is not about abandonment, it's about alignment. God's removal of people is a form of redirection, ensuring that your focus and priorities are in the right place. While the absence of friends or loved ones can be difficult, it's an opportunity to experience God's presence in a deeper and more personal way. In time, you may come to see this season of isolation not as a loss, but as a gift, a chance to grow closer to the one who knows you best and has plans to prosper you. This period also fosters gratitude. When relationships are restored or new ones are formed, you will appreciate them more deeply because you have experienced life without them. You'll understand that these connections are not the source of your strength or happiness, but rather blessings that complement your life. This shift in perspective allows you to approach relationships with a healthier mindset, free from unrealistic expectations or dependency. In essence, God's decision to remove everyone from your life before he moves is an act of love and preparation. It's a time to realign your priorities, deepen your faith, and discover the strength that comes from leaning solely on him. Though it may be painful in the moment, it ultimately positions you for greater clarity, purpose, and growth. By learning to depend on God fully, you are laying the foundation for a life rooted in faith and prepared for the blessings he has in store. When God removes people from your life, one of the primary reasons may be to create space for his purpose. This process often feels like loss, but it is, in reality, preparation. Life can become cluttered with relationships and distractions that, while meaningful in their time, no longer align with the direction God intends for you. By removing these elements, he is clearing the way for you to fully embrace the plan he has for your life. This can be challenging to understand in the moment, but it is an essential step in aligning your life with his will. When you are holding on to people or situations that no longer serve your purpose, it can limit your growth. Certain relationships might be comfortable or familiar, but they may also keep you stagnant. God often uses separation as a tool to nudge you out of your comfort zone and into a space where you can thrive. This is not a reflection of failure or rejection. Rather, it is a sign that you are being positioned for something greater. He removes the old to make room for the new, ensuring that your energy is directed toward what truly matters. Creating space for his purpose also involves stripping away distractions. Relationships, while valuable, can sometimes consume your attention to the point where you lose focus on your spiritual journey. These distractions might come in the form of relationships that drain your energy, environments that pull you away from your calling, or even well-intentioned people whose presence inadvertently keeps you from fully pursuing God's plan. By removing these influences, God is inviting you to turn your attention back to him and the path he has laid out for you. This process is not only about subtraction, but also about preparation. When God creates space, it is because he is preparing to fill it with something new and better. He understands the kind of people, opportunities, and circumstances you need to fulfill your purpose. By removing those that no longer fit, he is ensuring that you have the capacity to embrace what's coming. It can be difficult to release the old, especially when it holds sentimental value, but trusting that God is working for your good can provide comfort during the transition. Another important aspect of this process is timing. God's plans often operate on a timeline that differs from our own. When he removes people or situations, it might not immediately make sense, but over time, his purpose becomes clearer. This period of waiting and wondering is an opportunity to strengthen your trust in him. It teaches you patience and reliance on his wisdom, reminding you that his ways are higher than ours. The space he creates is not meant to remain empty. It is a preparation ground for his blessings and direction. When God removes people, it can also be a sign of protection. Sometimes relationships that seem beneficial in the short term can become obstacles in the long run. God, in his omniscience, sees what we cannot. He may remove someone to protect you from harm, heartbreak, or spiritual stagnation. While this can feel painful or confusing, it is ultimately an act of love. Trusting that he knows what is best for you allows you to let go with grace and confidence, knowing that his purpose is always for your benefit. Creating space for his purpose also involves a shift in priorities. When relationships or circumstances are removed, it forces you to evaluate what truly matters. It is an opportunity to reassess your values, goals, and alignment with God's will. This realignment helps you refocus on your spiritual journey and the unique calling he has placed on your life. It becomes easier to see which aspects of your life were distractions and which are essential to your growth. As God creates space, he also invites you to grow. The absence of certain people or situations can challenge you to develop independence, resilience, and deeper faith. It is in these moments of perceived emptiness that you discover the fullness of his presence. You learn to rely on him in ways you never have before, growing stronger and more prepared for the path ahead. The space that once felt like loss transforms into a foundation for the new season he is leading you into. This process also encourages gratitude. When God brings new people or opportunities into your life, you are more likely to appreciate them because of the space he created. You understand that these blessings were intentional, chosen specifically for you, and aligned with his purpose. The removal of old relationships helps you cherish the new ones, recognizing their role in your journey. Ultimately, God's removal of people from your life is a divine act of preparation and alignment. He is clearing away the unnecessary to make room for the extraordinary. While the process may be uncomfortable, it is a vital step in fulfilling your purpose. Trusting that God is in control allows you to embrace the changes with faith, knowing that he is working all things together for your good. As you release the old and welcome the new, you step into a life that is fully aligned with his plan, ready to receive the blessings he has prepared for you. When God removes people from your life, it can often feel like an act of loss, but it is frequently an act of protection. His wisdom sees far beyond what we can perceive, and in his infinite love and foresight, he may remove individuals whose presence could hinder your growth, purpose, or well-being. This divine intervention, though painful at times, is a crucial aspect of his guidance and care for you. Not all relationships are meant to last forever. Some are seasonal, intended to serve a specific purpose or teach a particular lesson. When their time in your life is past, holding on to them can prevent you from moving forward. What may feel like abandonment or rejection can actually be a way of safeguarding your path. God knows the true intentions of every heart, and sometimes he sees dangers or toxic patterns that you may not recognize. In removing certain people, he shields you from potential harm, allowing you to walk securely in his plan. This form of protection is often difficult to understand in the moment. You might question why a friend, partner, or trusted confidant has suddenly left your life, especially if the relationship seemed healthy or beneficial. However, God's perspective is eternal, while ours is limited. He sees the bigger picture and understands how each connection impacts your journey. By removing someone, he may be sparing you from heartache, betrayal, or influences that could derail your spiritual and personal growth. Additionally, relationships, even good ones, can sometimes take a turn that is not immediately obvious. What begins as a supportive bond may evolve into one that fosters dependency, discourages growth, or steers you away from your purpose. God intervenes to prevent these shifts from taking root. His actions may seem abrupt or even harsh, but they are always rooted in love. He desires what is best for you, even when it requires temporary discomfort or loss. Another way God protects you through the removal of people is by creating space for better relationships. Sometimes we cling to connections out of fear or familiarity, even when they no longer serve us. This attachment can block new, life-giving relationships from forming. By closing one door, God opens another, ensuring that the people in your life align with the next phase of your journey. These new connections often bring support, encouragement, and growth that the previous ones could not. It is also important to recognize that some relationships can stunt your spiritual development. If a person's influence consistently draws you away from God or diminishes your faith, their removal is a form of divine intervention. God places your relationship with him above all else, and he will act to protect it. While this might feel isolating at first, it is an opportunity to refocus on your spiritual walk and strengthen your dependence on him. Sometimes the protection comes in the form of preventing you from being a stumbling block to someone else. It is not always about what others do to you. Occasionally, God removes you from someone's life because your presence might hinder their growth. This act of separation is not about punishment, but about alignment with his will for both parties. It is an act of love, ensuring that everyone involved can thrive according to his plan. The timing of these removals is also significant. God acts when he knows it is necessary, even if it feels premature or unexpected to you. Trusting his timing requires faith and surrender, as it often challenges your understanding of what is best. You may not immediately see the danger or negative impact of a relationship, but God does. His intervention ensures that you are protected before harm can take root, sparing you from future pain or regret. As you navigate the aftermath of these changes, it is essential to focus on gratitude and trust. Thank God for his protection, even if it feels confusing or painful. Remember that his actions are always for your good, and he never removes something from your life without a purpose. Leaning into this trust allows you to heal and move forward, embracing the blessings and opportunities he has prepared for you. Over time, the reasons behind these removals often become clear. You might look back and realize that the relationship was draining your energy, undermining your confidence, or steering you away from your calling. Alternatively, you may see how the absence of certain people opened the door for new opportunities, relationships, or personal growth. These realizations reaffirm God's wisdom and strengthen your faith in his plan. Ultimately, the removal of people from your life is a testament to God's care and love for you. He sees what you cannot and acts to protect you from harm, stagnation, or misalignment with your purpose. While it can be painful to lose connections, trusting in his guidance allows you to navigate these changes with faith and confidence. In time, you will come to understand the depth of his love and the ways in which his actions have safeguarded your journey. His protection is not just about shielding you from harm, it is about preparing you for the abundant life he has planned for you. When God removes everyone from your life, it often serves as an opportunity to develop your character in isolation. Isolation is not meant to harm or punish, but to refine, strengthen, and prepare you for the next phase of your journey. It is a season where you are stripped of external influences and distractions, allowing you to focus inward and build a deeper connection with God. Through this process, He molds your character, teaching you resilience, patience, and self-awareness. In isolation, you are placed in an environment where the usual support systems may no longer be available. This can feel unsettling at first because it forces you to confront your own vulnerabilities and limitations. However, this is precisely where growth begins. Without the crutch of others to lean on, you start to rely more on God and discover strengths within yourself that you may not have known existed. This reliance fosters a sense of independence that is not rooted in arrogance, but in the confidence that comes from knowing you are supported by divine strength. This period also challenges you to confront aspects of your character that need refinement. Without the constant noise of relationships and external interactions, you have the space to reflect on your thoughts, behaviors, and motivations. It is a time for honest self-evaluation, where you can identify areas that require growth or change. This self-awareness is a gift as it equips you to make conscious decisions about the person you want to become. In this solitude, you learn to take responsibility for your actions and begin the work of transforming into the person God has called you to be. Isolation is also a time for deepening your faith. When the distractions of the world are removed, you can focus fully on your relationship with God. This is when prayer, meditation, and seeking His guidance become central to your daily life. You begin to understand that your worth and purpose are not determined by your relationships or social connections, but by your identity as a child of God. This spiritual clarity provides a strong foundation for the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. In this process, God often teaches you patience. When you are in a season of isolation, it can feel as though life is on pause. You may wonder why certain relationships have ended, or why new opportunities seem slow to appear. However, this waiting period is intentional. It is during these moments of stillness that you learn to trust in God's timing and recognize that His plans are always for your good. Patience becomes a tool for growth, teaching you to remain faithful, even when the path ahead is unclear. Another key aspect of this period is resilience. Without the constant validation or encouragement of others, you learn to persevere through challenges on your own. This resilience is not about becoming hardened or detached. It is about developing the strength to endure trials with grace and faith. The lessons learned in isolation equip you to handle future difficulties with a calm and steady spirit, knowing that you have already faced and overcome significant challenges with God's help. Through isolation, you also learn to appreciate the value of relationships in a new way. When the time comes for new people to enter your life, you approach these connections with a fresh perspective. You are no longer dependent on others for validation or fulfillment, but instead you see relationships as opportunities to give and receive love, support, and encouragement. This healthy dynamic fosters deeper, more meaningful connections as they are built on mutual respect and shared purpose rather than dependency. Isolation also provides an opportunity to clarify your vision and purpose. Without the noise of external opinions, you can focus on what truly matters to you and what aligns with God's plan for your life. This clarity allows you to set goals and priorities that are in harmony with your values and calling. When you emerge from this season, you do so with a renewed sense of direction and purpose, ready to embrace the opportunities God has prepared for you. Finally, the growth that occurs in isolation often positions you for leadership and service. The lessons learned during this time, resilience, patience, self-awareness, and faith prepare you to guide and inspire others. When God moves you into your next season, you carry with you the wisdom and strength gained from your time of solitude. This equips you to handle greater responsibilities and make a positive impact on those around you. In isolation, God is not abandoning you, but drawing you closer to Him. He is using this time to refine your character, deepen your faith, and prepare you for what lies ahead. While it may feel challenging in the moment, this season is ultimately a blessing as it positions you to step into your purpose with confidence and clarity. Trusting in His plan allows you to embrace the growth and transformation that come from this period, knowing that it is all part of His divine design for your life. When God removes everyone from your life, it can be a challenging experience, but one of the profound lessons it teaches is how to detach from external validation. In a world where people often seek approval, affirmation, and recognition from others, this removal is an opportunity to shift your focus inward and upward. It is a reminder that your worth, identity, and purpose are not rooted in the opinions of others, but in God's unchanging love and purpose for you. Seeking validation from others is a natural tendency. Human relationships often provide encouragement and a sense of belonging. However, when the desire for approval becomes a driving force, it can lead to unhealthy patterns. You may begin to prioritize others' opinions over your own convictions or compromise your values to fit in. Over time, this reliance on external validation can erode your sense of self and make you dependent on fluctuating human approval rather than the steady assurance of God's truth. When God removes people from your life, it is often to break this cycle of dependency. Without the constant feedback or affirmation from others, you are forced to turn inward and examine your motivations. You begin to question why you seek validation in the first place and whether it aligns with who God has called you to be. This introspection is both challenging and liberating, as it helps you uncover areas where you have placed too much emphasis on external opinions and not enough on your own relationship with God. This period of detachment allows you to redefine your identity. In the absence of external validation, you come to understand that your worth is not determined by how others perceive you, but by your intrinsic value as a creation of God. This understanding brings a sense of freedom, as you no longer feel compelled to meet societal standards or conform to others' expectations. Instead, you can focus on living authentically and fulfilling the purpose for which you were created. As you detach from external validation, you also become more attuned to God's voice. Often, the noise of others' opinions can drown out His guidance. When those voices are removed, you have the space and clarity to hear what He is saying to you. This deepened connection allows you to align your actions and decisions with His will, rather than being swayed by the shifting opinions of others. It is a transformative process that builds confidence in your ability to discern and follow His plan. This detachment also fosters resilience. Without the constant reassurance from others, you learn to stand firm in your beliefs and decisions. You develop the strength to move forward even in the face of criticism or misunderstanding. This resilience is essential for navigating life's challenges, as it equips you to remain steadfast in your purpose regardless of external circumstances. It also allows you to handle setbacks with grace, knowing that your worth and direction are not determined by others' judgments. Learning to detach from external validation does not mean isolating yourself or rejecting relationships. Instead, it means approaching relationships from a place of confidence and self-assurance. When you no longer rely on others for your sense of worth, you can engage in relationships that are healthy and mutually supportive. You are free to give and receive love without the need for constant approval or affirmation. This shift creates deeper, more meaningful connections, as they are built on mutual respect and understanding rather than dependency. This process also helps you focus on pleasing God rather than people. When you detach from the need for human validation, you become more concerned with living in alignment with His will. This shift in focus brings a sense of peace and fulfillment, as you are no longer striving to meet ever-changing human expectations. Instead, you find joy and purpose in knowing that you are walking in obedience to God's plan. Over time, this detachment allows you to embrace your uniqueness. Without the pressure to conform to others' expectations, you can fully explore and develop your gifts, talents, and passions. You begin to see yourself through God's eyes, appreciating the qualities that make you special and the role you are meant to play in His greater plan. This self-awareness empowers you to pursue your goals and dreams with confidence, knowing that you are equipped to succeed. As you grow in this understanding, you also become a source of encouragement for others. Your ability to stand firm in your identity and purpose inspires those around you to do the same. By modeling a life that is rooted in God's validation rather than human approval, you show others the freedom and fulfillment that comes from trusting in His plan. This influence extends beyond your immediate relationships, creating a ripple effect of empowerment and authenticity. Ultimately, God's removal of people from your life is an act of love and preparation. It is a way of teaching you to detach from external validation and embrace the unshakable truth of your worth in Him. While the process may feel lonely at times, it leads to a deeper understanding of yourself and your purpose. It equips you to live a life of confidence, resilience, and authenticity, free from the need for constant affirmation. By trusting in His plan, you can navigate this season with faith, knowing that it is shaping you into the person He created you to be. When God removes everyone from your life, it can often be a necessary step for you to begin the work of healing. The process of healing is not always immediate or straightforward. It is not just about recovering from physical wounds, but also from emotional and spiritual pain. Many times we carry unhealed wounds from past relationships, experiences, or losses, and these unresolved issues can prevent us from moving forward in life. God, in His wisdom and love, understands the importance of emotional and spiritual healing, and sometimes He orchestrates seasons of isolation to help us face and process our pain. This healing process begins with the removal of distractions and external influences that prevent us from confronting the pain we are harboring inside. When we are surrounded by people, even those who care about us, it can be difficult to fully acknowledge the wounds we carry. Their presence, though comforting at times, can act as a distraction that keeps us from looking inward and dealing with unresolved emotions. By removing these people from our lives, God provides a space where we can focus on our inner healing without the influence of outside opinions, expectations, or comparisons. In this period of separation, God often works to reveal the root causes of our pain. The healing process requires us to confront difficult emotions, painful memories, and old hurts that we may have buried deep within ourselves. And these emotions may involve past betrayals, disappointments, or losses that we have not fully processed. By isolating us from external distractions, God allows us the opportunity to face these emotions head on, which is the first step toward healing. This can be an uncomfortable and even painful experience, but it is necessary for true restoration. While the process may feel painful, it is also deeply transformative. As you face your pain, God is working within you to bring about healing. His love and grace provide a safe place for you to grieve, forgive, and release the weight of past hurts. Healing often involves forgiving those who have wronged us, and this is something that is difficult to do on our own. However, God gives us the strength to forgive and the peace to release the hold that bitterness and resentment may have on our hearts. It is through forgiveness that we experience true freedom and emotional healing. In addition to forgiveness, the healing process often involves redefining your identity. When we have been wounded, we can sometimes allow those wounds to define us. We may see ourselves as broken, damaged, or unworthy of love and happiness. But God sees us differently. He sees us as His beloved children, beautifully created and capable of healing. During times of isolation, He works to reshape our understanding of who we are, helping us recognize our value in His eyes. As we heal emotionally, we begin to embrace our true identity, one that is not defined by our past pain, but by God's love and purpose for our lives. Healing also involves reclaiming hope for the future. Pain and hurt can cloud our vision, making it difficult to see beyond the circumstances we are currently facing. When God removes everyone from your life, it creates an opportunity to look ahead with renewed hope. He wants you to understand that the pain of the past does not define your future. His plans for you are full of hope, restoration, and a future beyond what you can imagine. This season of isolation and healing may be a time for you to renew your hope and belief in the good things that God still has in store for you. As God works in your heart during this season, He also helps you build resilience. Healing takes time, and the journey is not always linear. There may be days when you feel discouraged, overwhelmed by the weight of your emotions, or tempted to revert to old patterns of coping. However, through His strength, you learn to persevere through the challenges of healing. Resilience is not about avoiding pain or pretending it doesn't exist, but about learning to trust God through the process. Even when healing feels slow or difficult, you hold on to the hope that God is faithful and that He will see you through. Furthermore, as you heal, you begin to see things with greater clarity. Past wounds and unresolved issues often cloud our judgment, leading us to make decisions from a place of pain rather than wisdom. During the time of isolation, you are given the opportunity to recalibrate and realign your thoughts and actions with God's truth. You start to see situations and relationships more clearly, understanding where you need to set boundaries, where you need to forgive, and where you need to move forward. This clarity enables you to make healthier decisions for yourself and your future. Healing also brings about peace. Emotional wounds can leave us feeling unsettled, anxious, or constantly on edge. As God works in our hearts, He replaces this turmoil with His peace. This peace is not based on external circumstances, but on the deep assurance that God is in control and that He is working everything together for our good. Even in the midst of pain, His peace allows us to rest, knowing that He is healing us and restoring what has been broken. Ultimately, the period of isolation and healing is one of transformation. While it may feel like a time of loss and emptiness, it is, in fact, a season of great renewal. God uses time to heal your heart, restore your sense of identity, and equip you for the future He has planned for you. As you emerge from this season, you are stronger, more resilient, and more at peace, ready to embrace the new season of life with hope and confidence. Through His love and care, He transforms your pain into purpose, and you step into the next chapter of your life healed and whole.